Now, good morning everyone. I wish to do this video in relation to some comments which I received on my first two videos. Now, in those comments you requested me to do a video also on the case involving Honorable John Rosso and his company Rosso Property Limited and its interest on allotment 154 section 51 of the land area here in Konedobu, in which the court ruled that the transfer of the title from the National Housing Commission to Rosso Property Limited was through a fraudulent means. Now, from my reading, let me give an overview of what I read and understood. Now, in every transfer or lease between the state and any client for this matter through National Housing Commission, the process takes a while, and it involves stringent processes in which the clients or any party interested in any asset or any property that belongs to the state must comply with. Now, NHC in this case first leased the property to Nigel Bowell on the 13th of March 2017. Now, after some months, the title again was leased to Max Hula on the 10th of August 2017. Now, that's after some months. Now again, the third transfer was made again. The third transfer of the title was made again on the 12th of August 2017, which is only 2 days after the second transfer of the title. Now, as I've already said, the process involved in transferring of the title from the NHC to any stakeholder or any interested parties takes a while. It takes a process. But this transfer took place only in 2 days. Only in 2 days. So the court ruled that this is through a fraudulent means. The transfer of property, the title of the property, was transferred through a fraudulent means. Now, this clearly indicates that there is someone in the National Housing Commission who is facilitating these fraudulent transfers. Now, this particular person has to be identified and has to be dealt with. The ICAC and the Ombudsman and fraud squad need to investigate the officers involved there in this matter as well. This particular property was leased and released and transfer after transfer from one party to another just in months and days. That clearly indicates some upper hand being influencing the processes, and that is the case. Now let's go back to when exactly Honorable John Rosso was declared the member-elect for lay. Honorable John Rosso was declared the member-elect for lay in July 23rd, 2017, which is 10 to 12 days before the before his company, Rosso Property Limited, received the lease contract from National Housing Commission, which is on the 12th of August, 2017. That indicates to us that before Honorable John Rosso became an MP, he had interest in this property through its company, Rosso Property Limited, and therefore he obtained the property's title already, but then obviously through fraudulent means. Now, when he became the member-elect for lay and obviously the member for lay, why did he wanted to be the lands minister? Because there is an existing conflict of interest over some assets, so he has to be, or he wants to be, lands minister. And why would also NEC and Honorable James Marapa appoint him to be the lands minister? Is he the only credible leader who has the right credentials to be the lands minister despite being the deputy prime minister at the same time? This raises some questions. So we have to clearly see that there is influence in the process in which the title was transferred. Now, we cannot take it lightly. This case clearly indicates serious breaches of the laws of our country. Now, the first law that it has breached is the Lands Registration Act, Section 33(1)(a), which says no one or anyone for this matter, when transferring land titles or property titles, should transfer it using fraudulent means. And any state leases should not be done in a fraudulent manner. This is also against Section 404, Section 405, Section 406, and Section 407, which is conspiracy to defraud, Section 407, abuse of office, conflict of interest, and Section 408, which is corrupt transaction with agents. Now, against Section 408 of the Criminal Code Act, we can clearly see that the deal went on between an agent and the company named Rosso Property Ltd. Now, who is this agent? This agent has to be brought before justice as well. And this agent could be the secretary at the time when this title was transferred. And so I call upon ICAC also to investigate the secretary, the then secretary at the time when the title was transferred. This is very serious. This is against Criminal Code Act Section 408 of the Criminal Code Act. Now, this is also against Section 5 and 6 of the ICAC Act, which is against conflict of interest. It is also against Leadership Code Section 27, against conflict of interest. And we must say that if the minister has stopped this transfer of the title to his property, then that would have been justice. But under his watch, the transfer took place, and we could clearly see indication of interest, clash of interest. Now I am seriously calling upon ICAC. ICAC has never ever investigated and prosecuted a member of parliament. We have fraudsters in there. We have murderers in there. We have rapists in there. But when have you investigated and brought to prosecution and brought to leadership tribunal one member of parliament? Since its inception, I am challenging the commissioner, the ICAC commissioner, the deputy commissioner. I know some of you have been very vocal on corruption, or the rampant corruption right across all departmental heads and in all departments. I must say that since its inception, ICAC has never ever investigated and prosecuted one member of parliament. Are we there to sit down and watch the fraudsters? Are we there to sit down and watch these rapists? Are we there to sit down and further watch these murderers in there and legislating laws which are imposed on us, the little people, and insulating themselves? This is totally unfair. ICAC received 40 million in 2024, and it received 50 million this year. It received an additional funding of 100 million from European Union. Now, what are this money being used for? This money seems to be paying the 65 staffs who are in there at the ICAC and not doing the job that you are paid to do. Now, ICAC has been compromised, I can say, at this point, and it is not doing its functions that it is supposed to do. Now, ICAC receives these 50 million, 40 million, and 100 million purposely or primarily to investigate and prosecute public office holders. But why isn't it doing that? Now, here is the case. Can ICAC and Ombudsman Commission now investigate Honorable John Rosso, the Deputy Prime Minister and Lands Minister at the same time, and prosecute him? We clearly have a fraudulent transfer of a title of a property that belongs to the state. We are depriving the state. We are using power. We are using political office to abuse power and processes. And isn't it not corruption? Or is it ICAC there to just watch and sit and clap your hands on what the members are doing? Or is it because he is our Deputy Prime Minister, so you will have to respect him? Even the Prime Minister is beneath the law. Law is supreme in this country. I am calling on ICAC to act now. And here is the case. Secondly, I must also call upon the Honorable Prime Minister. I know in your grandiose announcements when you took office in 2018, you made commitments to fight against corruption, and that is very true. All of us wanted corruption to be rooted out of this country in all aspects and spheres of life, in all departments. Now, Can you, the Honorable Prime Minister, do justice by asking the Deputy Prime Minister to step aside, because this is clearly an evidence of fraudulent transfer. This is evidence of abuse of power. This is evidence of self-interest over public interest. Can you ask him to step down? Can you excuse him? He can clear his name in court in the maybe upcoming second hearing, so that we install some integrity in the office that he occupies, and even the office that you occupy as the Prime Minister. And this will restore trust from the people. And this will also signal this country that law is supreme than any other member of parliament, even the Prime Minister, even the Deputy Prime Minister. And I know, Honorable Prime Minister, if you do this, you will garner support from the public and general Papua New Guineans. I am asking you to make a stand and step aside Honorable John Rosso, and let ICAC and Ombudsman deal with him, investigate matters and prosecute him if possible evidences are found. Thank you.